Guys, I'm your instructor, Manoj Kumar. Well, we'll hang up for another 32. Guys, make sure if Kumar, I'm an OEM certified instructor for Infomatica and SAP. I'm having a 9+ years of experience in data warehousing and business intelligence world, especially in Infomatica and SAP side. So far, I'm interacting with many technologies, but if we consider these two OEM, I'm having experience in Informatica Power Center, Informatica Data Quality Manager, Informatica Master Data Management, Informatica Big Data Management, and several other things in SAP side like SAP BO, BW, BODS, HANA, Design Studio, and Hadoop. Well, it's been already a long time. I'm training people online and offline. As I'm working as a certified instructor, most of my time goes into handling corporate level training requirements. At the same time, recently I have joined Infomatica University for supporting Infomatica on Asia Pacific training deliveries. So I have been assigned a project for Power Center, Data Quality, and Big Data Management. So far I'm handling these three in Asia Pacific. Master Data Management is mostly in Australia and Europe region. So that's about myself, guys. Hope I can support you guys in a better way as Informatica instructors. And definitely I'll come with all of your questions if you have any queries in future in this technology. So that's all from my end. Well, I'll appreciate if you guys can go ahead and you can start introducing yourselves so that I will have more visibility about whom I'm going to train on. So you can use a chat window to write down. Just want to understand that your name. Let me put on into the chat, guys. Let me put on. The version 9.6.1, which is the current version running in the market. Well, that is having a support on all phases at our end by Informatica University as well. We do have 10 version release, but we are working on it to fixing it out with all fixes. Still, those systems are not available for all. Only that is available by Informatica University directly. So if you compare and if you say there is no bit of change in terms of development is concerned, more of the changes has been happening into the administrative layout, so you won't find any difference even though if it is a platform of 10. Well, the most stable version which is running all across the market is 9.6.1, so keep in mind we're working on it and we do have a platform on which we can work on the same version. All right. So in this demo, we are going to understand the course outline, what we are going to cover in this curriculum. The course planner will be shared to you so that you can understand which day what will be covered, so that you will have more visibility about the course outlines further on when you start joining the regular classes. We'll try to understand what is in ETL, given the ETL flavor by Infomatica in a quick view, and then we'll try to see the data quality flavor of Informatica, whether this fits in the entire flow of data or in a entire ecosystem. And then we'll have a question answer round where you can ask question if you have any related to the course, related to anything which is there in your mind. Well, apart from that, I'll give you some feeds like how the session will happen, when the session will happen, how long it will take, and so on. All right. So let me start with the course outline. First of all, let me discuss about the course outline, what we are going to cover in this training program. All right. All right. So in this 9x version, first we are going to talk about how Infomatica developer tool works. Well, keeping in mind the participants who are going to join and we can do some changes in the content. Means if someone is joining very new into the Infomatica, I do need to add a couple of more modules into it to cover up before we are jumping into data quality. But as Infomatica recommends, there is no specific prerequisite like you need to have an Informatica Power Center knowledge. But even though if you are not having it, you can directly launch yourself as a IDQ developer. So I have started like that. You may can see it. We are going to talk about the GUI, which is been used most of the time in this data quality training program called developer. All right. That is the tool name itself. All right. Then how does mapping and maplet works underneath to this tool? If you guys certainly, if you're not having a familiar with this kind of language, don't worry. Going on further, I'll explain this terminology which is going to be used in Informatica. So we have a mapping, maplets, or transformation, content sets, data objects, etc., etc. So that is the first module, which is moreover focusing on how the entire developer tool works and what are the options it does have, what does it supports, and how does it work. All right, it's all about that. Mostly it's going to be a theoretical session. This first module is going to be a theoretical session because it's talking about the tool. Well, the next module is your analyst collaboration. Well, I would like to mention that there are two tools we are working on in Informatica data quality is your developer and your analyst. So after finishing that, I'll explain you guys what are the tool we are going to interact it in this curriculum. So there is a thin client, or you may can say we have a web-based console running and supporting us on data quality side to understand that in the form of reports. So we have two different resources working. One is a architect or developer, and the other one is a business analyst or a business user. So if these two professionals has to work on data quality, the data quality do have a tool which has divided the roles. If I'm saying developer, developer is a dedicated tool where development will be processed. So here the developer and architect, they are working on it. Well, there is a tool called analyst inside the data quality module where the focus is more about to letting business analysts and business users interact. So here we'll find a lot of data quality reports, data quality profile reports, data quality object reports, where they can see the strength of data, the vulnerability in data, the problems in data in form of reports. So let me put up an example in terms of this. If at all, Suppose I have some data over here, and if I start looking onto the data, I have a column called country, and there are a lot of variations in this country name. IND, India, IN, all right. So let's keep it like this. We have a couple of versions over here. Also, USA, US, America, United States. So you may can see it in the column of country. I'm writing different versions for the same aspect. I mean, if you can see here, these all are nothing but the same country name, right? These all are nothing but your same country name. Well, I'm going to keep this same version all across to my data? No, not at all. We want a single version of data to be populated everywhere, so that there is no significance which is showing up. These all are different one. They are the same one. So these all are going to be converted into one single format. Could be USA or could be US, whatever suits as a standard. Like if you talk about India, we have a standard. We always prefer to write it IND, which is a specific standard short form of India. So I will pick up this one and I'll change all of my data in a single version of truth. Well, as we are talking about the analyst tool, what will be the analyst tool works for? Well, here I can see there are 4 different versions, and for India we have 3 versions. All right. So if a business user, if a business analyst wanted to understand this data quality problem, how they will get to know that? They're not going to interact with the data directly because they are not they are not having a comfort, or they're not comfortable on interacting on a technical part. All right. So rather than the technical aspect, we populate the data profile report in a report format. It could be in a pie chart or could be in a bar chart. It is going to be populated on. So what if I have given, there are 2 countries, suppose there is a report like this, there's a 2 countries where they're having, this is for India, IND, and this is for your United States of America. What if I'm going to consider it, okay, how many distinct values are there in this part of this country called India? Well, that can be represented in one format, or let me put up like this. This is your distinct value. And the value which is left behind is your duplicates value. Suppose here it says 5 records are distinct and rest 20 records are having a duplicates. All right. So like that, you will have reports shown up on the analyst tool, so that it gives a 360 visibility to non-technical persons like business analysts and end users or business users. So this this client tool is dedicated for projection of your profile reports, projection of your data reports for those who are not adequate enough to understand the technical language. All right. Hope I'm clear. All right. So let's go back into this course agenda. In this analyst collaboration, we are going to review the information from the analyst. whatever the information given by analyst. We are going to comment them. We are going to tag some comments into it. We are going to create and add a reference table through which we are going to refer it. Well, you may can say, what is this reference table? Well, guys, when we are going to talk about the reference table, we will talk about in detail at that time. But to have a quick understanding, it's a table, it's a standard table which we have made it, which is going to be referred time to time when we are going to test, when we are going to understand how much data problem or data quality problem we are having on my actual data. So we'll keep a standard table, we will make a standard table, and we'll do a validation with the actual data. All right. So it's going to be a data check or data quality check table taken as a standard. All right. No, it's not a kind of lookup, Suryans, but it's a table which is going to be referred time to time. Whereas the lookup is concerned, lookup has a lot of other, uses. It's a reference table. Suppose like I have a 10 records, like same as I have shown you into the PPT, and those have contains the country name and the phone numbers, the address of a customer. Well, how do we validate it? Whether there is a problem in data quality. Am I going to do the validation manually, or do we have a certain method by which we can compare them, and on the basis of comparison, whatever the reports comes up, that automatically shows us these are the problem lies into your actual data. So at that point of time, we prefer to use your reference table, the standard tables, which has the standard names of company, which has a standard name of countries, which has a standard format of address, which has a standard format of phone number. All right. We'll talk about it more in detail when we go into the curriculum. Then afterward, we are going into the profiling world called developer profiling. We create a profile. Well, what is profile, guys? Could someone answer it? Let me put a poll over here. How we, guys, what is a profile according to you? When you say profile, what does it mean? Any clue? Exactly. Exactly, Amit. Thanks for the input. Well, guys, its profile is nothing but it's a presentation of your data. You create a profile which present how data is basically is. When you talk about your raw data, the data which is having a lot of quality issues, I just wanted to understand that how many rows of data we having, how many columns of data we are holding up, and what are the columns where their distincts are lies, where their duplicates are lies, and how much they are. Those all things can be minimally seen at the developer tool itself. All right. So let me quickly connectivity to my developer environment to show you guys if I can do it so that you will have a 360-degree vision of it at the same time. So my development environment is already up. So we have two tools. One is a developer, another is analyst. I'll show you guys. Don't worry about that. Let me quickly boot into it and show you guys what profile looks like. Don't worry, guys. I'm just launching it. It used to take little time to launch. At the very first time when you're going to launch it, it used to take time. All right, so we are in now into this developer tool. This is the tool where we are going to interact most of the time to understand that how development of data quality management happens. So let me connect with my repository. All right, so it's connecting to the repository now. All right, so it's open now. So you may can see it. We are now connected with the repository called mrs_sbc_dev_dq. Well, I can see underneath to this repository, we have many other self-contents into it. So let me jump up into any one of it and show you guys how profile looks like, okay? So you may can see it over here. There is a profile created over here for the data which is into the Excel file or maybe into the CSV format called all customer orders. When I'm going to look into this profile for this all customer order, this file is lying into the flat file format and that I have created a profile for it. All right, so now I can see my profile view overview over here. This is just an overview about it. And the best about your data quality is you may can go and you can directly run into the development mode itself. You can run and you can test the data at any point of time. So let me get into the result of it, of this data. No, it's taking too much time. Maybe like I have booted up freshly today, but deleting all those things which we have created earlier. Okay, so now you can see that there are a list of columns which is showing up your all customer order table. All right, these are the columns what we are having it, and these are the unique values you are having it. You may can see it, unique values and unique values percentage, null values and null value percentage. Like that, we have a data type, we have actual data type which can be documented. Like this is the actual data type which we have having it into the document, and this is the proposed data type given by data quality developer tool. All right, or you may can say better suited data types for my each of this column, and their respective percentage can be also seen. And then max value, mean value, and then at the end when the profile has been created or accessed. All right, so this is just a data viewer view of your profile data, but if you want to see this in a better way, you just click on any of the column, just select the column, and you may can see the values and their frequency and their percent. And we can also have a chart if there is a chart inside it. So let me click on the company column over here, and you may can see that the company column has a name called US Navy, which has a frequency of 73%, and 73% of frequency is there, where 2.54% of the data is lying into this profile, naming US Navy. You may can also have a charts like structure over here. Maybe further on we'll see that on analyst tool side, where you can understand that how much of data vulnerability you are having, which you are already seeing over here, right? We have a record for address which is having unique values. 1005 records are Unix, whereas the percentage of uniqueness is 34.90%. 18 records are null, etc., etc. So this is how your profile looks like, guys. Well, let me come out and we'll discuss about it more in detail further on. So your developing profile means whatever data you are having it, whatever raw data you are having, it doesn't matter whether it is in database or in a flat file format, you are going to create overview about each and every columns. All right, that is your data profiling. So under this data profiling, we are going to understand that how join analysis profiling happened, how column profiling happened, how multiple object profiling happen, how mapping and transformation works to support my profile or on top of my profile, midstream profiling, comparative profiling, etc., etc. So we are going to talk about only and only profiling of your data in this module. Well, afterward, we are going to look into standardization of your Infomatica data quality training. Basically, we are going to look into the core part of your data quality transformations, like clean, transform, and parse data. This clean, transform, and parse data will be done by your data quality transformation called cleaner, your data quality transformation called parser or parse transformation that supports us to get nothing but your pure and specific transformation called data quality transformation. So there are a list of transformations we are having it, in which we have a transformation called merger. We have a transformation called purge. We have a transformation called extra purge, etc., etc. There are many more transformation which is supporting in terms of your data quality activities. So it is one of it. We are going to talk about how to clean the data by using a transformation, how to purge the data using a purge transformation. Apart from that, we also have some of the Power Center transformations like router, we have joiner, we have filter, we have expression, etc., etc. So I'll give you the list of transformations we are having it and on which we are going to work on. All right, and what are the transformation which has similar functionality over the Power Center, and what are the transformation which is dedicated for data quality only. So how to clean a data, how to parse the data has been going to be discussed over here. Now it says develop data standardization maplet and mapping during the Infomatica data quality training. So how you design this maplet, which is a reusable object inside your Infomatica application, and mapping is your actual content which is going to be executed. So how do we design it inside the data quality? We are going to understand over here. We will also understand in this module how the clean data is going to be put into the mapping, so that when it is going to be executed, ultimately your target will have all the data fixed up with all the vulnerabilities. All right. Then we are dipping into the specific data quality agendas, like how does address validation can be happen. You might have seen, guys, we have ways of writing addresses. When we go for writing addresses, we have number of ways to writing addresses. So how do we validate whether it is the correct address or not? How do we get to know that that address is a standard address or not? Because when it comes to loading a data onto the target, could be a data warehouse, we want standard data to be there. So how do we do the address validation? So we will see in this module, reusable address validation transformation. We have AV. AV means address validation transformation. We have address validation transformation, and I want reusability of it. So how do we create a reusable address validation transformation so that I don't have to create it again and again? The same flow of transformation can be used in multiple cases. All right. So how do we do that? How we are going to work on AV transformations properties, AV input and output reusable AV maplet. So if I'm creating a reusable transformation here, how this transformation is going to fit into the maplet, how I'm going to make the whole design itself reusable. All right. So in this module, we are only going to talk about how address validation works and how address validation transformation support us to validate my address. All right. As I said already, we have dipped into the major data quality transformations. We are jumping into more high-end on the advanced side of data quality now, called matching. Matching is one of the like advanced feature we are having it into my data quality, in which we are going to match my data. We are going to create a match, and using those match, I'm going to replace all of my data by defined match. I mean, in this match transformation, basically what you're going to do it, I'm going to create a match for IND. I'm going to create a data layout in which I'm going to say that if the data is IND, if data is India, I'm going to create a strategy, you know, we call it strategy. So I'm going to define it. If data is IND, if data is India, if data has IN, replace it all with IND or make it everywhere IND. So we wanted to match it up. We wanted to match it up with the defined value, what we have. So this has to be defined by us. Certainly, sometimes some matches are already standardized and given, but most of the time we are going to create this match based on the data value. We see the profile, and based on the profile propagation, we create this match. Or by creating this match, when we go for changing the whole data into IND, the match transformation helps us to do so. All right. Just a moment, guys. Let me put in my charger. All right, so that is what the match transformation is basically is. So in this, we're gonna see it, how grouping of data, how analyze details report on the analyzer tools, how DQ matching cluster analysis report works, how matching maplets works. I mean, how we have match transformation used in the maplets, what is the purpose of it, and how does it is going to help us to understand the types of inputs and type of changes we can make into the data. Okay. Well, after dipping into that, we are going further on little more onto the matching concept, because that has a great role in data quality. How building matching mapping using identity, matching identity population and strategies. Like as I said, we create a strategies, and based on that strategies, we populate the data. All right. So here, actually, in this module, we are going to see those changes happening based on the strategies we are making it. All right. Then once the matching data quality transformation will be done, we are going into consolidation transformation. How does performance consolidation can work? All right. How do we consolidate the data? By using a consolidation transformation, which is a pure data quality transformation. Here, only and only the functionality of the consolidation transformation we are going to talk about, because it has a straightforward impact or straightforward use of your transformation. There's no like many changes you have to make it. It's just going to consolidate your data, whatever coming as an input. Then we are going to talk about your Infomatica data quality assistant, the different component in DQ tables which shows in this module. Well, like as I showed you into my tool, there are multiple folders we have underlying, and we have subfolders underlying in which we have maplets, transformation, we have physical data model, we have logical data model, we have reference tables, we have contents, we have many things over there. So we will see those building blocks in this module specifically. You may can see that why I'm jumping back over there, because there are a few things which I need to design it before I go into more higher level, and when I'm going more onto the deeper side of the data quality. All right. So most of the transformation which we have discussed in this content are more intended onto the data quality side, like address validator, like your consolidator, like your parse, like your match, etc., etc. All of the transformation which you are going to see it in this developer tool are moreover a generic transformations to handle the data, to filter the data, to clean the data, to mask the data, to merge the data. For those all purposes, those all transformations are given over here. All right. So once we are done with all kind of data quality assistant activities, we are finalizing the design. I mean, I'm done with my whole designing of my data quality flow. So once the data quality flow will be done, I can execute it right there itself. That is the benefit of your data quality tool. It allows us to execute, it allows us to run my each and every transformation there itself into the development mode. Whereas if some people has experience in Power Center, they might know what does that it mean, what I'm saying. All right. If you're not clear, I'll explain it when we go into the tool side, guys. But the developer tool used in Informatica is only for the development environment. When you go into SDLC lifecycle, you'll see that this developer is only fitting into development environment. That means you don't have anything into the testing environment. You don't have anything into the production. So how can you manage those things? How can you help it out on that aspects? Well, to get the support of the testing and production as well, or to have that my design into testing and production as well, what we do, we actually export my mappings and maplets of developer into Power Center. I mean, we have two products. Major product for ETL activity is your Power Center. For data quality management, we have a product called Developer, which comes into the same suite, but it required a separate license. So if I have a mapping, I just moved into the Power Center, and Power Center has the capability and it can be reflected in each of the phases, like it will be available in development, testing, and production, all those environments. All right. So when we are moved my mapping into Power Center, it can be reflected either in testing and production as well. So here in this module, we are going to talk about how does Power Center integration happen with the developer tool. All right. It's not a direct integration which is going to happen, but how do we take my mapping from the data quality, which I have designed in data quality developer, and how can I export and take those exported mapping into my Power Center? All right. Mostly that is happening in the form of XML. When we export my mapping, it converts the mapping into XML, and the same XML has to be imported in the Power Center tool. All right. Then we'll see that the further on, like how the object is going to be exported, imported through the data quality and into the Power Center integration. Means like this module is only going to talk about import and export activity which is happening inside it. All right. And at last, we'll have Informatica data quality for Excel. There's something we have given here called data quality for Excel. This is one of the good feature, preferably, which help us to run data quality mapping on Excel spreadsheet. I mean, not the exact mapping, but the flow which we have designed. If at all I don't want to transport it into the Power Center, how do we take it in a generic format at the local level? So here in this part, or in this module, we are going to talk about how the whole mapping, which has all the changes impacted, how can be accessed into the Excel. So that is one of the important features it does have for those who want to access their data, clean data locally, not on any specific platform. So these are the things we are going to talk about it. There are many more transformation which lies underneath to these modules. So you don't have to worry about that. Well, that has not been mentioned, but the overview has been given. If I'm going to parse it, there are a lot of activity has to be done before I'm going to parse the data. If I'm going to consolidate the data, I might have a situation where we are going to do a lot of activities before consolidating data. If I have to address validate, there are a lot of transformation which is going to be used before the address validation. So it doesn't require any separate inputs into the content, guys. All right. So this is all about the content which we are going to cover up in detail, in depth. Um, I hope you have a clear visibility about what we are going to cover it. Is there any question, guys, before we jump into the next part? Any question as such? Okay, I believe there is no question. Guys, let me know if there is any queries related to it. All right, so let me make you understand where this data quality fits into my entire ecosystem of your design. As you know that, guys, we have the whole data warehousing layout, and I need to clean my data before it is going to be loaded into the data warehouse. All right. So where my developer tool comes in, and how does Informatica support on that? And why Informatica? Why not any other tool which has a data quality feature into it? Well, I'm going to differentiate and give you the whole overview about that just in this pictorial. So you may can see it. We have various databases on the operational side, OLTP side. This is nothing but your operation side, but I have different kinds of DBs, and I do have a file system or a flat file. So to interact with these all, to integrate them and give a consolidated projection of data, we have a use of ETL. So this is my nothing but operational systems. These are terms at OLTP system. OLTP systems are nothing but your operational system which you are using day to day. All right. The business which is happening on top of this OLTP system, or because of this OLTP system, and because of this you are able to manage your day-to-day transaction. So how I can get my transactional data into the warehouse? In between this process, like before the data goes into the warehouse, there are many things going to happen. There are so many things we need to do it, because we wanted these all data to be passed into the single format. Let's take an example. If this is your Oracle DB, and it could be your DB2, and here you have a SQL Server database, and we have a flat file. I can see it in each of these sources. We have a different way of dealing data. So we have a different formats of data, or maybe different methods of data. Those all things has to be changed into the single format. And to change those into a single format, we have one flow coming into it called ETL. One concept coming into it which can transport my all this data into the single target by making some changes into it. Sorry. By making some changes into it, which we call it staging of data, or which we call it business rules applying. So If I wanted to apply some business rules on my each of these data sources, how do I do that? How I'm going to consolidate the entire data, how I'm going to merge this entire data into a single. Those all activities are going to be done using your ETL flow, where ETL flow says, first we wanted to extract my sources, where the process of extraction is nothing but identification of your source and a reading data from the source. Extraction means you are going to read the data from the source and you're going to identify the data source, all right? So this is nothing but your extraction part. Out of that ETL, we are going to do the extraction over here. ETL, where E stands for extraction. Just now we saw that we are interacting with the data and we have identified the sources. We call it extraction process. And this is a concept. This concept, wherever it has been used, the tool is considered as a ETL tool. So we have extraction process happened over here. We took all the data. Now it's time to see what are the problems in the data. I mean, is there any consolidation needed? Is there any merging of data needed? Is there any filtration of data needed? So there are different kinds of business rules you are going to apply it on this part of the world. Well, I can go and I can transform it, okay? We call it applying a business rule is termed in a ETL world as a transformation. So we have various kind of transformations which are available inside our application, which help us to transform a data to meet the business rules. So when the data has been transformed, it has to load over here. It has to load into the data warehouse. Then only we are going to load the data, and that loading process is called as load. So when you look into it, we will find that it is nothing but extraction, transformation, and loading. If you look at over here, if you are going to look into over here, it's a L from loading, it's T from transformation, and it's E from your extraction. So you're going to extract, transform, and load the data. So in general, if there is no data quality coming in between, then what we have, we generally do extraction, transformation, and loading of a loading process to transport my data from one place to another place in various different scenarios. This is a data warehousing scenario, but there are many scenarios where we use extraction, transformation, loading process, like your migration works, like your collaboration works, like your when there is an acquisition of the companies, there is a merger happening. Those all where we have to have ETL flow deployed. All right. So wherever there is a need of transformation, could be mutual or could be two-way or could be single way, there where we use your ETL process, extraction, transformation, and loading process. All right. But where does this data quality fits into it? And where this data quality coming into picture? Well, guys, when you took the data by using extraction process, we read the data, we identified the sources. Afterward, when we are doing transformation, we are doing all those changes. Here itself we can manage to have those all data quality impact projected. We can have all data quality projection happened over here. I mean, when we are transforming my data, what I can do is I can also apply a data quality impact on it. And I can take the source or I can take the sources and I can put it into the data quality. More refined term I can have it like usually what happens in between the data warehouse, the data directly not goes into transformation. We have one more stage over here. We call it ODS, operational data stored. We used to have it ODS over here, where we are going to take all my data sources into it. And I'm going to pass it and do the later activities further on as per my comfort level. Okay. So once the data, I took it into one place or one centralized place, and I can use it any point of time. I don't have the botherance that whether do I have a access of database or not. I just have to call the information over here on a one place. Further on, I can use it to do transformation and loading into the data warehouse. So what we do here, suppose the transformation is happening over here. Let me put the loading over here in this label. I can put my data quality next to it. Before the data quality is, before the data is going to load it into the data warehouse, I want to manage my data quality. I wanted to perform my data quality check over here. Then only the data is going to pass into data warehouse. So from ODS, we will take all the data. We'll do a data quality transformations and we'll do a data quality processing. And then data is going to be transformed again by using a power center. Maybe we'll take a data quality mappings. We can take the data quality maplets into the power center. As I said, we can integrate the power center, right? So suppose like data quality is working over here. I designed my mapping and maplets in data quality by using your address validation or consolidator or by your decision maker, exception handler, or by using any of your data quality transformations. You just designed a mapping. That mapping has all data quality management flow designed into it. Now, when I am taking a data from ODS, ODS is my source for data quality as well. Now, what I will do, I will put this whole activity of my extraction, transformation, and loading into my power center environment. Like till here, till the load happened, I'm gonna put this into my data quality, power center environment. Okay, I'll put it into the power center environment. So this would be my power center environment where the extraction, transformation, loading processes happen. So power center is a ETL flavor of your Infomatica. Well, the question coming over here, why do we need that this flavor over here? You might have already understood that. The fact is that when we have designed and developed my entire flow, now it's time to make it extracted. Maybe it has already been extracted. Maybe it's time to do a transformation on top of that, which will help me to pass on my data into the environment where it actually has to flow on. So one second, please. All right. So the loading is going to be happen over here in this data warehouse. Okay. So what I'm supposed to do over here in this situation, I'm going to extract the data, pass it into the ODS or load it into the ODS by using same ETL process. I mean, I may have extraction, transformation, and loading both happening over here. Keep it in mind, wherever you have extraction transformation, or wherever you are having data movement, there you need to have extraction, transformation, and loading process happening. So you may can say that why do we need it to do the transformation before the load into ODS? We may can do it or we may not be. I may can simply push the data from the sources into one's target place, that would be your ODS. Or I may can do a little transformation, not the major one. I can do the little transformation of data like filtration, merging and all that, and then I'll put my ODS. That's why I have written here extraction, transformation and loading. So I'll take my data from the sources, put it into the ODS, and then again using ODS as a source into the data quality, I will do the data quality check and data quality validation and data quality changes, and then I'll push those mappings and maplets and I'll put it into the data warehouse by using loading process. The transformation won't be taking place over here, as we have already took the transformation in the data quality. The data is going to be directly get into the data warehouse by using a loading process. What we will do, we will make the data transported into the Power Center tool, and then once it has been exported in Power Center, we'll execute it. All right. So that is the flow what we are having it in the entire ecosystem of your data warehousing using your data quality. We also have a product over here called data quality management, Infomatica MDM. Well guys, Infomatica MDM also lies one of the part of the ecosystem. Okay, if you go in a higher level, we have Infomatica MDM, which is a product handling. It's a different different environment. Well, this product is basically for managing your master data. How do you manage your master data at the higher level? So those who's dealing with the Power Center data quality, they might further on go for MDM as well. So in this entire ecosystem, when you look into the Infomatica products, you may can see that we have a series of products which is helping us to make data changes more profound, make my data movement more easier and more comfortable by using their separate product line. Well, that is one of the advantages why we are using Infomatica as a product. Well, there are various other reasons, like Infomatica products are more reliable, they are more robust, their integrations are more reliable. Also, in terms of development, it is ease of use, because most of the time we are using an inbuilt algorithms, and those inbuilt algorithms help us to produce the desired inputs. So because of the certain reasons, we are using this Infomatica product for all the activities of ETL, data quality, and master data management. There are several other products in the market by different vendors, which is having a similar kind of output, but they are not reliable as Infomatica is. That's why in the data integration world, Infomatica has been termed as the leader again for year 2017 by the Gartner, as they have focused only and only about data movement and their related activities. That's why we are using Infomatica as a tool. But we are free to use any of the data quality products. Could be SAP data quality products, could be your Microsoft data quality products, could be your Oracle data quality product, could be your IBM data quality product or many open source data quality products, you can use it. But the benefit is that you have a single product. I mean, you have a single vendor product or single vendor product line, which is well integrated to each other. I mean, when I'm going to transport my mapping and maplets into the Power Center, it can easily read out the data because it lies from the same family. And as you know that any of the family member, if they talks in a specific language, it can be easily understood by other family members within that family, right? So it's easy to translate my entire mapping from one environment to another environment. That is the another strong reason why we are having Informatica as a product used in most of the situation. All right. So that's all from my end, guys. I'll appreciate if you can go ahead and start questions from your end. Once the question answer round will be end, we will talk about, we'll take 5 more minutes and we'll talk about what I'm going to offer you while going into the curriculum apart from learning, how you're going to do hands-on based on your case studies or based on your scenarios, or what are the contents I'm going to give you for your self-learning. So as I'm directly working in Informatica University, I do have several contents which can be passed on to you, which is officially certified contents by Informatica University. So may I have a question, please, guys? If you have any question, please open up. I'll appreciate for your questions, if any. Amit, Fred, Suryans, do you guys have any question? All right. So Amit has a question. When to use analyst versus developer? As I said, guys, we have two major tools on which we are going to work on. One is your developer tool, as I shown you over here. This is a developer tool. This is your tick client. This is your tick client tool. When you get into the Informatica folder, all right, Amit. When you get into the Informatica folder, you can see various folders underlying to it. When I get into the client, you have one flavor called Power Center clients. The other flavor is a developer client. When you get into the developer client, you can see it. We have one thick client developer, which is nothing but your Informatica developer tool, which is going to be used for data quality purpose. Now coming to the client tool. Another client tool we are having it, that is nothing but your Informatica data quality analyst tool. This analyst tool is a web-based console, or it's a web-based tool. It's a thin client tool, which is going to be used for the purpose of seeing the reports of my data, seeing a report of my profiles, seeing a report of my physical data object, etc., etc. So here's your analyst tool basically is. And this analyst tool, as I said, support us to do analytical activities which shows the data in form of report over here. Okay, so let me get into that. And the password for this is, wait a second. Well, Amit, all the development of mapping, maplets, all the changes in the data in terms of data quality management, that cannot be done on the analyst. The whole development life cycle will be done on a developer tool. As the developer tool is dedicated for development purpose, all designing, process changing, data validation, those all happening into the developer tool. Whereas analyst tool is concerned, moreover, we are going to create over here the scorecards, and those profile reports can be seen over here into the analyst. I mean, those profile reporting can be created over here in analyst, and that can be seen over here in analyst in more detailed format, because developer has a certain limitation in terms of reports. We cannot go to that level. Here we can create the scorecards. First of all, we can go for scorecard creating. We can go for designing of my entire flow, not the mapping or not the ETL flow. Make sure that we are not designing any ETL over here, okay? We have only the reporting functionality supported over here. Whereas developer tool is concerned, the whole design or whole process flow of your data quality management can be designed there. So let me see some of it, which I can show it, if at all, because I just have made it blank so that we can create every time a new one. So let me go to the profile. If there is a profile predefined, we can see that how this analyst looks like. And as this is a platform not very technically specified, only for the purpose of report analysis of the profiles, report analysis of the data, report analysis of your clean data and raw data both. Am I clear, Amit? Is there any question, guys? Or you may can understand in this manner. See, 80% of the course is dedicated on developer side. Means 80% of the course or 80% of the curriculum we are going to discuss on developer tool. Rest 20, out of that 10% is your theory sessions, and rest 10% is your analyst tool. How does analyst tool works and all that. So more of the work is dedicated onto the developer tool side, not an analyst side. So let me open some of the profiles over here. It's opening up anyway. Maybe I need to restart my system so that it will get faster. So those all terms, if you remember, column profiling, data domain discovery and all that, that has to be discussed over here. If we create a column profile, if I'm going to populate that profile reports over here, that can be seen in analyst in more detailed format. I can see the minimal view in developer as well, but if you want to do the analysis of your report or analysis of your profile, you may can do it over here right on top of this analytical tool. That's why it has been taken as a web based. Appreciate. So you may can see the reports over here, detailed reports of each columns and the rules, the outcomes, everything has been specified over here. I mean, the input of the data, sources, what was the problem, what we did as a rule, and what is the outcome we are getting it after applying those rules. So business users, they may can come up over here, or analysts, they may can come up over here, and they can do the check over here whether the data has been changed in the right manner or not. Did we took the right method of change or not? It is not going to be decided by the analyst. That will be decided by the architects and done by the developer. Analyst will decide what to do as a part of the change, what to do at the part of the change, whether those changes has been done or not. It can be seen over here. Not always the validation purpose, but as a business user, I can come up and I can see how raw data has problems and how we have overcome over here. So there is something over here which is not technically defined, but in a chart format defined over here. Okay, and that makes us more easily understood the entire things over here. So suppose like we have here address, and I can see the detailed chart of values underneath to it on this side. Like that, I do have many other things. Like if you have a problems in cities, I can go and detail. I can see the detail values over here, which is pictorially shown. I can see the patterns, what patterns we have used, and what are the percentages of it. We can do the analysis of data types if we have done some changes into it. This is just a statistics of entire uh, report what we have. So here you can see that the frequency, the percentage, the drill. Well, you can see it is giving you the similar view, but there in the developer tool we have data over here rather than the report, right? And this was projected on when we are clicking on to that specific column of the data, right? So here the entire thing has been projected in the reporting format. Now if I go and I wanted to do a certain in-depth analysis, I can use my drill down functionality, and that's give me another window open up for drill down. And basically this allows us to take my entire analysis off on that specific value. We have chosen the city as a column, and we have chosen the one of the cities which is underlying as the values, having a frequency of 14% and having a percentage of distinct is 2.08. And if I wanted to do in-depth analysis of the data, I can do a drill down, and that will give me an option over here to see the pattern of the data over here inside the drill down feature. So this is an analytical activity which can be performed onto this analyst client, onto this data quality thin client tool, which is a web-based. So we have a two flavored inside my Infomatica data quality, or two of the tool we are going to interact on, where measure of the interaction is going to be happen onto this developer tool, because it's a part of designing. Majorly, we need to see how we are going to design my flows. All right. This is one of my mapping, which I open it over here. This is one of my mapping. This is how it looked like. This is your source target. Let me iconize it. You may can see it. Here is my input and here is my output. In between, there are a lot of transformations engaged. These icons represents the maplets. We have used reusable uh, uh, business logics over here as a part of my maplets. All right. So majorly we have to learn everything relating to this tool. All right, developer. Where the 10% of it, as I said, we are going to learn at the analyst tool. Basically, how we design the scorecards, how we can manage my profiling into my analyst tool, how can I see my profiles, how can I do the analysis over there. Those all functionality can be seen into my um, Informatica Data Quality Analyst tool. All right. So that's all from my end, guys. If you have any more questions, please let me know. I'll appreciate for your questions. And your questions are really valuable. If you don't have a question, we can go further 2 more minutes and then we can end the demo session. All right, so I feel like there's no question. Guys, so this session is going to, the regular session is going to start from coming Monday. Well, the calendar will be populated and published to you guys if you have paid an interest. All right. And we are going to have 1 hour of session every day in the weekdays. We are running the session in weekdays only. And most probably it is going to take 20 hours to complete the entire curriculum. I'm just not hard coding this 20 hour. Could be flexible on any part of the time. If it can go plus minus 1 or 2 hours, but the basic timing which is given over here is 20 hours. All right. Apart from that, I have a step-by-step case study document which you need to follow to do the hands-on. I mean, even if we are done with the session and you are doing a practice, you will have step-by-step guide to do the hands-on based on each module. So I have created this step-by-step document for your hands-on based on the modules. So when we finish with the module, I'll give an example. I'll give you and I'll show you the example how to create it. Then after, in your free time, you are going to practice on that specific module which we have covered in the session. All right. Apart from that, you are going to get it one student guide. Basically, it is one PDF document is there which is going to give you more insight or more alignment on data quality side. That is dedicated for the student itself. So student guide will help you out in every aspect of data quality. And if you want to do a certification, the student guide and the lab guide if you finish with both of it, you don't have a trouble clearing your certification further on, because these two has been designed by Informatica University directly. So they have designed in a such a way, those who are coming for their curriculums, if they are finished with as they have prescribed, they can go for certification exam at any point of time. Well, you'll have a tool access also given. Maybe in a virtual format, like maybe in a VMware format. You'll be having a software in a VMware format. And then you will have a flexibility to have it a hands-on at your pace, at your convenience of time. All right. So these are the offerings we'll have it basically, and these are the other things we are having it related to uh, the the classes we are going to run on, and how do we proceed with that. Never intend to have any hands-on right there while we are discussing about anything, because you will have a step-by-step guide already with you depending on the modules, okay, and module wise. So you just can jump on into the module and you can see the steps if you have forgotten. If any case, certainly you have forgotten and what next has to be done, you may can refer to that guide. Otherwise, you can create the whole things by your own. All right. So that's all from my end, guys. Thank you very much for joining this demo session. Hope I have made everything clear at your end, and appreciate your patience and support to being the session run on a proper manner. Thank you very much, and see you guys on a regular classes. Thank you.